say as simply as this much here. If you don't believe in a God right now, if you don't believe in God right now, then when are you going to believe, honestly? Because this right here happening right now, this very thing happening that is literally has impacted, has put everybody in the same spot. Only God can do something like that. Now, did we know what this was going to look like? Nobody knew what it was going to look like. Nobody knew how it was going to happen. But if you believe in God and you have some sort of a spiritual part of your life, then you know that right now what is going on is simply, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. But in fact, it was that matter of time. Something like this had to happen. And just kind of the reason why I say that too was because I was just kind of reflecting back on just the last couple of years, probably since like 2016. Man, it just seems like the world just kind of started going on an edge, like an extra edge that it was already on in 2016 leading up to currently. And it's just like wrongdoing and all of that stuff just became normal. It just became the thing to do. It almost kind of seemed like people just stopped caring about trying to correct wrongdoing, but in fact they just glorified it. They embraced it, and it just kept getting higher and higher as we went on each year. I mean, just with social media and how people have gotten on social media and pretty much have just tried to use it as a place of where I'm gonna put my opinion here. I'm gonna put my thoughts here. I don't care who it affects. I don't care who it talks about. My opinion matters over every and anybody else's, as long as my opinion is heard, as long as I get to say what I need to say over somebody else. I don't care what they say. And it just seemed like a lot of that just started going on with social media, along with just a lot of other things just that were starting to appear that were inappropriate on social media that wasn't once there. And social media just really just kind of turned into this thing that it wasn't at first. And just with that, it almost kind of, and I've said this before too, it's almost kind of seemed like social media is honestly became World War III. Honestly, it was a lot of at war things going on with people on social media, along with I just remember back in those couple of years too, and I don't remember the exact time and moments of those years, but I just remember hearing about this stuff. It was just police brutalities was at like an all-time high here in recent time. And a lot of videos started to get posted on social media about it, and a lot of hate and outrage, a lot of divide started happening on social media as well. And then just the whole really starting in 2018, I believe, maybe a little bit before that, don't quote me on it, but just in 2018, I just remember the whole Me Too thing starting, and like there was allegations and stuff of people popping up everywhere. It was just blinding stuff. Like 2018 was just blinding with stuff happening. It was like boom, 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 back to back, and it really was blinding. And I pretty much this was the thing here that I got after, you know, really just looking at this year and just the past couple of years and stuff that we've seen unfold with wrongdoing and just and so much hate towards each other as people. And just ultimately, when there's so much hate towards other people, you're ultimately kind of hating yourself as well, because we're all one people. We're created by one God as one people, and when we're just so against each other, it just causes turmoil, not only with other people but within yourself as well. But I just remember saying a lot too that 2018 was blinding, and 2019 was like that year of where we needed that time to metaphorically have the LASIK eye surgery on our eyes, because we've been blinded by so much in the past couple of years, and 2018 just being that cherry on top with what we've already seen unfold. And then 2019 going to be that year where your eyes are open and you're going to see a lot of things that you wouldn't even have thought to even regularly think to see happen. And sure enough, here in April, of course, we have seen that quite already, and there's even more to come. 2020 it's got a lot more on its way. I am very interested to see what that is. And right now, just during this time, it's really made me see that with all of that stuff that has been going on here in recent time, that we have literally been put in a timeout. We have been put in a timeout as people and as a world, because we have just been going crazy. If you just really think about it, this world has been at an all-time high with just like stuff that you wouldn't think seeing happen, wrongdoing wise, happen, and it just being the okay thing, being exposed to children on top of that, and it just almost kind of seemed like the world just kind of stopped caring on what was even exposed to our children, and what was just being exposed in general, and just people finding ways to somewhat seem to be easily offended, and it's just a lot going on, and it just kept growing. And it seemed like with 2020 that was something that tried to seem to go even higher past than what it already was. But I really believe God was just like, look, time out. Yeah, y'all gotta sit down. Y'all have to sit down, literally. You're literally going to sit down at home, and you're going to think about what has transpired. And I really want you to sit down and just think about, we'll give you this time to think about what it is that has occurred. And I'm going to give you this opportunity as well to draw closer to me also. Right now, more than ever, this is the time that if you already weren't, that you should be drawing closer to God, and because He's calling. He's definitely calling right now out to us, and He's really trying to reach out to us, speak to us right now, help us, get us to see what is really going on. Just get us to see in between those lines, and looking past the surface, looking deeper into what is going on. On top of that, trying to protect you from what actually is happening out here. There is a legitimate, serious virus that's out here that's really killing people day by day. Numbers are growing. And having that opportunity to stay at home when you can, stay at home and stay away from virus and disease and sickness that is out here. Do it. Sit down and take this time to think. Seriously, that more than anything, that's what I think this time is for, to really just sit down and think what is really happening right now in this world, what is really occurring, what is being spoken to you right now with all the stuff that's going on. It's serious. This is really serious. I didn't think it was this serious. I really didn't think so. Just a month ago, and I didn't think it's that serious, but it is. And this is not something to be taken lightly in any form of way, but to really sit down and think about some things, rearranging your life. And it's not a form of punishment whatsoever. I don't even see it as a form of punishment. I see it as something as like, look, hey, you may want to listen. You may want to take this a little bit more seriously than you are, and look at it as a form of discipline. You know how when we were in grade school, and you know, if you were in school and you were really acting up with the teacher, and the teacher was, you know, they know you was kind of on the edge with acting up for a minute, but they kind of gave you a pass. They let you slide for a little bit, and then you just kept doing it, and you just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And then the teacher was like, all right, y'all done went too far. No recess, or no free time, or whatever it may have been in school that was extracurricular and fun to do if you did good. And if you just kept constantly doing what you were not supposed to do after you were told what you're not supposed to do constantly, and then you end up doing it so much to where you think that it's right, somebody has to stop you. And I really believe that God was like, look, I have to stop y'all right now. I have to stop y'all right now and make y'all just see what y'all are really doing to yourselves right now. And again, with everybody in the entire world being affected by this, I mean, I can't see this being anything else but a call from God to really just get people to sit down and think, honestly.